Hi there guys, so bit of a late video from me about this Anthony Gordon stuff, but I am a little bit glad that I wasn't on the ball with this a bit early on because there's been a few other things that have come out that are in relation to this as well. So just to go back a little bit, Liverpool have been linked with potentially turning down a deal for Anthony Gordon, and this all started in the Mail today where their Northeast correspondent journalist turned around and said that Liverpool were ready to... No, sorry, start again. Newcastle were ready to sell Anthony Gordon to Liverpool this week before talks broke down. Jarell Quansah was a part of the proposed deal from Newcastle, not Liverpool. And basically Liverpool said, nah, we're not interested. Now, I've seen a few different bits about what that deal consisted of. And from what I've seen, apparently it was like 75 million that Liverpool would pay Newcastle plus Quansah, right, for Anthony Gordon. Now, Liverpool didn't basically turn it down, and for me, I think Liverpool done the right thing now to turn it down. Now, people have asked me, like, what's my opinion on Anthony Gordon, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't really paid much attention to him, and I'm not going to turn around now and say I'm a big fan of him. I didn't think that he would be someone that Liverpool would go for. You know, Liverpool are heavily stocked in that position, you know, like Luis Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, Nunes. They can all play that left winger position with a right foot coming in on the, on the inside to have a shot. Now, if Liverpool do pursue this deal for Anthony Gordon, then someone's leaving. Someone from that side is moving on, or they're going to try and do what they did with Sadio Mane. Like, remember before we signed Salah, where Mane would play a lot on the right, and then when we signed Salah, he moved to the left. Maybe one of them that's already there, like Gakpo, Jota, Luis Diaz, would move to the right as like a backup to Mo Salah. I'm not sure, guys. Maybe that's where they can see Anthony Gordon fitting as on that same side where Salah is. I don't know. That's just what my mind's at right now. Like, it doesn't make sense for Liverpool to go and buy someone in that position when we're already heavily stocked there, right? So that's where it came from. But when it first came out, guys, I was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a second. Like, I know Liverpool have obviously been mentioned with him for a few bits now, and you've seen the videos that have come out online now where he's a Liverpool fan. I think there was a picture of him at Wembley at one of the Liverpool finals with Liverpool kit on. He spoke about Steven Gerrard and how you'll never walk alone is like one of the best atmospheres and blah, 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 stuff like that. So, he is a Liverpool fan. And, when you look at his history, he was in the Liverpool youth team when he first started out before he moved to Everton. So he does have connections there with the club, which is good to see. But even like the BBC reporting on this now, saying that Liverpool have turned down a proposal from Newcastle, which involved Anthony Gordon joining the Reds and Quansah going in the opposite direction. Liverpool did not view the deal as being right for them, even though the 23-year-old is a player they admire. And it just goes on to say a few other things there about what the deal and stuff. So again, it doesn't make sense unless someone's moving on. And then we've had quotes from Fabrizio Romano saying that Liverpool are the only club in for Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon would join Liverpool. Crucial hours ahead. This is all from Fabrizio Romano. Now, just sticking with the player, if we just look at him as a player, look at his stats. So I've got like this little stat sheet that I like to make for like my lives and stuff. So I'm going to put it up on the stream now, the video now, so you can all see it. So obviously he's 23. He's a left winger. I've put his valuation at between 60 to 75 million. PSG are also rumoured to be interested in him. Last season, all competitions, he made 49 appearances, 12 goals and 11 assists, which is a lot better than I personally thought. He only missed one game due to injury, I think was the last game of the season. 89% of him, he made the starting 11. He completed 85% of those minutes. He had a 25% goal participation, so basically a quarter of all assists and goals that Newcastle did last season came from him. 12 yellow cards and 1 red. And then just looking at his percentiles here, guys. So he was in the top 82% for progressive carries, top 72 for successful dribbles, top 76 for non-penalty goals, XG 81%, assists 86, key passes top 57, offensive actions 69, and minutes played 3,232. And then just compared to all other wingers in the Premier League, his performance index, guys, He's ranked the third highest, only behind Cole Palmer and Saka, and he's above Mo Salah and Bailey and Foden, only by a little bit, but he's still ahead of them in the performance index from last year, guys. So he is better than I probably should have probably given him a bit more credit, in all fairness. But the crux of this story is, guys, is that Newcastle need to sell some players before, is it the 30th? Or, by the end of the 30th of June? Yeah. For, FFP, something like, PSR, something to do with that. I think that's what it's called, this one. This is the deadline that's come, yeah, PSR. And if they don't do that, then they're going to potentially be docked points for next season. Now, one thing that's just happened, which I'm kind of glad happened before I made this video, is David Ornstein has reported that Brighton have agreed a fee of around 33 million to sign Minter from Newcastle. He was also a winner. He's been given permission to discuss personal terms before completing his proposed deal, and the deal would help Newcastle towards the PSR. Now, I think I've heard a few different figures here. I think Ben Jacobs said on X that it was 30 million that they needed to raise before the deadline date. I've seen up to 40 million as well. So even if this deal does go through at 33 million, they're still 7 million short for the what they need to basically do. So, but what I'll say is, if this deal does go through for Minter, then it probably kills the deal of Liverpool being able to get him on the cheap. Like, if Liverpool really wanted him, I'd have probably gone back to them and said, right, I tell you what, we'll keep Kwanzaa. You're not getting 75 million. We'll give you like 45, 50. Try and play it on a little bit because you know how desperate they are. But if, like I say, with this deal going through now, I would probably say that this whole Anthony Gordon thing's a bit dead in the water now for Liverpool for the time being. But, Fabrizio Romano's still saying that it still potentially could happen, so we'll have to just wait and see what happens over the next coming days. None of the Liverpool top journalists have touched on it. Ornstein, Joyce, none of them have said anything about it, so we'll have to just play it by ear and see what happens over the coming days. But yeah, that's it, guys, for this video. Hope you've all had a great weekend. I will see what happens in the paper stuff for tomorrow, see if there's anything else I can talk about in the morning. And other than that, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.